Hey, good morning, friends. Today is Tuesday, July the 30th, 2024, and the time now is 8:17 a.m. So, Africa continues to make progress in various ways, whether we are talking about economics, academics, education. The African people, especially the youth, this generation, continue to make progress. Today, Africa continues to make progress in one arena, in the sporting arena. And we are seeing that unfold internationally and domestically in Africa. Now, as much as African domestic sport infrastructure is still poor compared to the rest of the world, internationally, African athletes, whether they were born in Africa or born around the world, abroad to African parents, they continue to make progress and they continue to dominate, international sports or play a very significant role in international sport, basically showing to the world what Africa is capable of doing. Now, Nigeria is one such country that continues to make progress in various ways and continue to show the rest of the world Africa's greatness. Nigeria represents Africa everywhere, and in every way. Whether we are talking about the Nigerian film industry, Nollywood, which is number 2 in the world in terms of the amount of movie that it produces every year. Academics, the Nigerians are all over the place, they are basically representing Africa. When you go abroad, you see a doctor in American or European hospitals. The possibility of such doctor being a Nigerian is very great. So they are doing very good. They are business owners. Nigerians are hustlers, period. I remember being in China as a student, even where I used to go to hang out at night at the bar, were owned by Nigerian students who basically use whatever money they have, putting it together, and they basically own one of the popular bars closer to campus, and these guys are hustlers. But one way recently in which Nigeria represents Africa is that of sports, the Olympics. In addition to South Sudan almost defeating the United States in an exhibition match prior to the Olympics, and now South Sudan making progress, defeating or basically showing itself, proving itself, its greatness, defeating Puerto Rico. Nigeria, the Nigerian female national basketball team beat Australia 75-62. Now, this then echoes the statement that I made 2 days ago or so, basically highlighting the disrespect that people such as Gilbert Arenas, former NBA player, projected towards the nation of South Sudan, the people of South Sudan, the basketball team of South Sudan and Africa in general. The reality of what Nigeria did defeating Australia and South Sudan did prior, defeating Puerto Rico, shows that the United States or Western countries in general do not dominate sport as they used to and will not dominate sport as they used to. Part of it is because players from everywhere are going into Europe, going into the United States, or the West, and they are competing at higher levels. In the United States, for example, whether we are talking about basketball, the American football, or in America they say soccer, players who are born around the world and also who migrated to the United States, they are dominating and showing what they are capable of doing. In the United States, there are children who born out of the United States or who were born in the United States to foreign parents who participate in sports in various levels, okay, or at the various levels, whether we are talking about the high school levels, the collegiate levels, and the professional levels. Such is the case with South Sudan. Many of those players are either in the NBA or they are playing professionally, whether in South Sudan or elsewhere around the world. Such is also the case for the Nigerian national female basketball team that basically defeated Australia. These girls, they are either born in Nigeria or born in the West to Nigerian parents. They either in the WNBA or they play collegiate, okay, sports. They play in college. So they know the fundamentals and they take it to another level. These guys are great, and this is the reality of what sports is becoming in the United States and also in the West, in the rest of the West. So it is very interesting, and I do believe that Nigerians, okay, citizens of Nigeria and those who are abroad, who are of Nigerian descent, I think that they have to follow events such as the Olympics or whatever international competition is going on and support the country. And also Africans need to get in this as well, okay? Supporting Nigeria, because Nigeria is one such country that continue to do big things, not just for itself and its reputation, but also for Africa, okay, or Africans. Julius Malema basically stated recently that the rest of Africa compete amongst themselves, okay, amongst one another. But Nigerians compete against or with the rest of the world. And this is very much so, okay, very much the case. And as of this Olympic, South Sudan is one such African country that is competing against the rest of the world. Now, having almost defeated the United States in their exhibition match, South Sudan basically defeated Puerto Rico. And yesterday when I checked, South Sudan is about 37 or 33 spots in terms of global ranking. And Puerto Rico is about number 16. So that is a big deal. And I do believe after this Olympics, whether South Sudan makes it to the second rounds or not, I do believe that they need a bump in the poll, okay, in terms of the position, the rating, because they are doing a phenomenal job. And it is now the case for Nigeria. Now, there are lots of articles or news agencies out there or platforms that have published their perspective on the match between Australia and Nigeria. One such paper basically stated that Nigeria basically surprised Australia or stunned Australia. I don't think it's necessarily a surprise because, yes, Nigeria may not have a good, sophisticated sporting, okay, league, okay, basketball league. But Nigeria is one such country, as Julius Malema said, that competes globally. The only issue with Nigeria is that Nigeria has a government that seems to not have a brain. And since I was young, that has been in Africa, the perspective in Africa about Nigeria. The people of Nigeria are amazing people. Nigerians are hustlers. Like these guys, the rest of Africa find it difficult to compete with Nigeria in many, many things. Whether we are talking about academics, business, they are ruthless. Finance, in terms of vision. This is why lots of the innovation or promises of innovation takes place in Nigeria. But to an extent, these innovations, these good things never expand because Nigeria does not have the government. Nigeria has the population. For example, in Africa and even in Nigeria, in terms of football and the rest of the world say soccer, most Nigerians might be watching European leagues, okay, the British leagues, okay, Premier Leagues, France's league, the Spanish league, Italian leagues, German leagues, and so on. Nigeria has the population where if the right people comes to power and they basically put the government backing, okay, behind the innovators, Nigeria has the population to sustain, okay, to establish and sustain a very strong, globally recognized sporting competitions. We are talking about a football league, basketball league, tennis league, baseball league, American football league, which in its case will be the inspiration for Africa. Nigerians are competing in the United States and in the West. In the United States, whether we are talking about high school, middle school, and then the collegiate level. In college, whether we are talking about baseball, basketball, football, or soccer, if you will, there are Nigerian kids participating, competing. So to me, it is not a surprise that Nigeria could defeat Australia. Yes, Australia might have a very strong global basketball league. However, Nigerians are in the United States competing professionally and also collegiately. So these guys are in the country with the strongest sporting league or system. They grow up here, or even those who born in Nigeria who grew up in the West, they tend to learn from the West, from the United States, okay, the ways, okay, the fundamentals of the sport, plus their own flavors. And then they basically shine, okay, they make great things happen. So I wasn't, and I am not surprised that Nigeria defeated Australia, or that South Sudan's basketball team almost defeating the United States in the exhibition game and also defeating Puerto Rico. And I do believe that there are lots and lots and lots of reality, okay? Lots of things to experience from countries such as South Sudan and also from the Nigerian national female basketball team. But once again, the Nigerian female basketball team, the national basketball team, basically make me proud, defeating Australia. And the score is basically 75 to 62. So that's a good score. And they played the hell out of Australia. And this is one of the reasons I am not stunned. These guys were physical, they were athletic, okay, playing Australians. And they were good with the shooting, okay, with 3 points. One of the girl, I think her name is Kalu or so, she was just bad, like she was amazing. Okay, she shot the ball well. And this seems to be a trend in African basketball game. And I hope the rest of the world take notice, and even Africans take notice. When South Sudan played the United States, and even when they played Puerto Rico, those guys shot well, and they are very great at shooting 3 points. When Nigerian female or women basketball team played Australia, they shot the ball well, and they are good shooters. It is also the case watching Nigerian men basketball games, okay, in FIBA last year and the year before. They are very good. They shot the ball well, and they are good shooters. And a lot of these guys played in the United States and in the West. So we are seeing great things happening for Nigeria and for Africa. Now, for the Nigerian women national basketball team in the Olympics, I wish them the best, and I hope they continue to make Africa and Nigeria proud. Now, friends, I'm going to end here. Please tell me what you think. But thank you very much for watching The Echoing Voice. Peace.